Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video, and today we are going to be reviewing the new Ravyn Lenae album titled Blue Island. This is Ravyn Lenae's first album after her huge hit that has over 1 billion streams on Spotify titled Love Me Not. I can guarantee that mostly everyone that will watch this video has heard this song. It is an earworm. Now, going into this album, I wasn't sure what to expect, as this was my first Ravyn Lenae album experience. I know her first 2 studio albums that she did in 2022 and 2024 respectively were mainly R&B focused, so that's kind of what I assumed for this album as well, but it's a lot more than just R&B. It is a combination of so many genres. So you have R&B, you have very pop sounding songs, you have this sometimes electronic vibe mixing in sometimes disco, acoustic moments. There's a blend of different genres, and you would think it would make it sound chaotic, but overall this album is very cohesive despite the whole blend of genres that it does. You know, I was really surprised with this album, I will say. It kind of went from being this random album that I decided to throw on because I didn't really see any bigger albums that came out that week. It went from that basically to being like, wait, hold on, this might be a very close to flawless album. So as I mentioned earlier, R&B is kind of like the main focus, but it's much more than R&B. Most of the singles that were released prior to this album coming out were mostly pop focused. One of them had an acoustic sounding vibe coming from Reputation with Dominic Fike, which is the worst song on this album by far. This album does a lot of good things that I was really pleased with. I think the bass lines in this album, particularly in the chorus of many songs, are absolutely killer. They elevate the chorus so good. Whenever I'm listening with my headphones, you can actively hear the pulsating bass that is in this album. Her vocals as well, I wasn't exactly sure what to expect in terms of her vocals, as Ravyn Lenae is still a very new artist to me. But one of the most captivating things, the emotion that she has in her voice, the tone is really unique, absolutely a stunning vocalist. And with the layering and all of the production on her voice, just elevates it so much more. I think this album has one of the best production in an album that isn't an electronic album. This is still a majority pop album with R&B vibes, I would say, for the most part, but the production on this is stellar, particularly kind of in the back half of this album. She really experiments with her sound. Find It One Day has these absolutely hard-hitting drums that kind of come out of nowhere that sound like they would fit on Doja Cat's V album. Place that song right in there. It would fit so well. That whole vibe and that song in general is one of my favorite on the album, but production is as well a standout. Hooks as well. Holy shit, Ravyn Lenae is a great hook writer. In every song, I am like, she has such a great ear for a great melody and hooks. The pre's were good, the bridges were good on this album, but majorly the hooks on this impressed me. I kind of wanted to speak on more of this R&B side of the album as well. Kind of Familiar Dreams, Never Let Me Go, Potential. Songs like that in the kind of earlier half of the album have this really classic feel. Nostalgic 2000s, very classic sounding, mainly hook, but melody in general. That reminded me of occasionally Pharrell, Destiny's Child, TLC. TLC was a big comparison that I was making. Even Madonna at times with some of the more poppier tracks. But yeah, the R&B on this was very good as well. It's just so moody, so lush, so nice to listen to. She really knows how to create a great environment, especially for those tracks. Just to speak on those a little bit more, there wasn't honestly a whole lot of this album that I disliked. The 2 tracks that I immediately kind of think of when I think of songs that I didn't enjoy on the album, there's only really one. First one being Reputation with Dominic Fike. That is a basically all-around hated song from everyone I know has hated this song, and kind of for good reason. Dominic Fike brings these weird ad-libs that make him sound almost emo, a weird rap flow in the bridge. Overall, he is not needed in this song, and even without him, it's this weird acoustic guitar-based track that feels out of place on the album, and the hook isn't really anything amazing. By the third and final hook on the track, it just kind of feels annoying to me. Out of place, not needed. It's one of the gripes I have with this album, if only. There's not really any filler other than that on this album. I also thought track 4, In and Out, was just okay. I just don't really vibe with that hook. I also kind of find it a little annoying. Again, that one may more come with time. It's not like an instant dislike. It's just one that I'm kind of meh on. But those are the two that I instantly see as not liking. Everything else is very, very solid or great all around. There were moments where I thought her vocals could either be softer in a hook or rougher, particularly on Saturday Night, this club and ballroom inspired pop song where I thought her vocals in the hook could have been softer compared to rougher. Other than that, there's not really anything to complain about. Now that I kind of talked about my least favorite songs and what I didn't necessarily like about them, I want to go over my absolute favorite songs. Let's go top 5. I'll just mention my top 5. My favorite being Baby Girl with Doechii. Doechii's rap verse, she slid on this track. And overall, it's this very R&B, hip-hoppy with a very cool bass line. Just groovy and vibey, and Ravyn vocally mixed with Doechii's flow on this song makes it my favorite song in just so many ways, but vocally for sure. Track 13, Find It One Day. I kind of talked about this earlier, but the drums in this are very, very nice sounding. It's got this dreamy, ethereal vibe to it as well. The hook is incredible, because of course it is. The last track let us in the most experimental on the album, kind of reminiscent of FKA Twigs, is amazing. Use of vocoder that reminded me of Daft Punk on it. A bunch of different sounds, almost garage with a little bit of bounce. There's this very electronic sounding synth and a bunch of other sounds on this one that feel very chaotic, but very, very nice. Odd for an album closer, but one that I thought was very, very interesting. I also love the opening track, Handle. It kind of had like a Disney vibe to it. Very charismatic, especially in the hook. I really like how bubbly that hook is. The guitar is nice. It's in a standout in this track, marking again one of my favorites. As well, not to forget track 5, Potential. It's a simple vibe, but the bass line kicks up the chorus a notch. Vocally, it's a standout. Again, this R&B type sound that I think she has excelled at for a while now. But yeah. Those I would mark as my top 5, but there's way more than just that. Overall, kind of coming out of the blue for me, was not expecting to enjoy this album as much as I actually did. There's not too many things that I dislike about this album, barring probably one track. Take away that Dominic Fike feature track. This album is probably labeled as flawless to me, but overall, if I were to give it a score out of 10, I would say 8 out of 10. There's a lot of different sounds on here, but it also makes it sound cohesive. There is no jumbling really in terms of the sound of this. It all comes together in a very, very nice way. Much more experimental than I was expecting, especially in the back half of the album. Vocally, it is good. The hooks are good. The bass line, the guitar. What can I say about this album? But one of the best kind of pop/R&B albums of the year, I think you can say. Ravyn has really shocked me, and now it's time for me to maybe backtrack earlier in her discography to check out her first 2 albums, because she is really, really talented. Let me know your favorite songs on this album down in the comment section down below. What do you agree or disagree with this review? Make sure to like and subscribe for more content, and I will see you guys in the next one. See ya.